In this video I will explain every major round in BTD6 from round 1 all the way up to the theoretical maximums of free play that has never been reached to see what hides at the end of rounds. Rounds 1 and 2 contain nothing but red bloons, the most basic bloon of them all that gets popped with just one hit. At round 3 the blue bloon is introduced that takes one hit to pop down to a red bloon. At round 6 comes the first green bloons, followed by the yellow bloons on round 11 and pinks on round 15. Each bloon mentioned so far is faster than the one before it, with the pinks being very fast compared to a red bloon and is in fact the fastest bloon in the entire game. Each pink bloon contains a yellow bloon, that contains a green bloon, and so on all the way down to the red bloon. At round 17 we encounter the first variant that bloons can come in, the regrow bloon. Every bloon mentioned so far and a few more can come in the form of a heart-shaped bloon that can regrow to its original color if you don't pop it fast enough. The next new bloon comes at round 20. The black bloon works a bit differently and is the first bloon we encounter that has an immunity. All monkeys have different types of damage and the black bloon cannot be harmed by any sort of explosion damage. This bloon, when popped, will also spawn 2 child bloons instead of just one. Just like the black bloon, the white bloon also spawns 2 pink bloons as its children and also has an immunity, but this time it's immune to any ice attacks. Soon thereafter we meet yet another variant, the camo bloon. All bloons we've mentioned so far can come with camouflage, sneaking by any monkeys that don't have camo detection. At round 25 we encounter the first purple bloons that are immune to energy, fire and plasma attacks, and just like the black bloons and the white bloons, they spawn 2 pink ones. The very next round we meet the first zebra bloon. It has all the immunities of the black bloons and the white bloons combined, and it spawns one of each when popped. At round 28 we see the first lead bloons. These are immune to any type of sharp projectile, and when popped they spawn 2 black bloons that are again immune to explosive damage. So here you will need either a tower that can pierce through both types of immunities, or at least 2 towers that can take turns. At 35 we start facing off against rainbow bloons that contains 2 zebra bloons each, and at round 36 for the first time we encounter the first combination of 2 different variants, camo and regrow at the same time, meaning you need enough towers with camo detection to take down the regrow bloons before they regrow. The next type of bloon is special due to its HP. The ceramic bloon contains 2 rainbow bloons when destroyed, but to destroy the outer layer itself you need to deal 10 points of damage rather than just 1, making them a lot tougher than other bloons. But there is another class of bloons that takes a lot more HP to take down, the Moab class bloons. Round 40 is the final round if playing on easy mode. Here we encounter the first Moab class bloon that's simply called the Moab. It travels slower than most bloons and has 200 HP to pop the outer layer. Once popped you are greeted with 4 ceramic bloons, making it a total of 616 RBE with the children that it spawns. RBE stands for red bloon equivalent and basically means how much damage you need to deal to pop it all. For example, 4 green bloons has 12 RBE since they each take 3 pops to fully take down, including the children that they spawn. On round 45 we encounter yet another type of variant of the bloons we've already seen, the fortified variant. Unlike the other variations of bloons like camo and regrow, the fortified property can only come applied to lead bloons, ceramic bloons and Moab class bloons. Fortifying a ceramic bloon means that the ceramic layer will get double the HP, from 10 to 20, but fortifying a Moab class balloon not only means double its HP, but all of its children that can spawn with a fortified property will do so as well. After passing round 50, the cash you get per pop will decrease by 50%. Prior to this you got $1 per pop, but now you get $1 every other pop. As the game continues, the pop income will continue to decrease all the way down to 2% past round 120, meaning you only get $1 per 50 pops. At round 60, we encounter the next bloon in the Moab class, the BFB. This bloon takes 700 damage to pop the outer layer, and inside you will find no less than 4 Moabs, meaning the BFB with all of its children has an RBE of 3164, and this is the final round if playing on medium mode. Round 63 is the first significant round that doesn't contain anything new, but still presents an increased threat compared to other rounds. It contains a long trail of lead balloons coupled with 3 rushes of very dense ceramic balloons. These require a lot of piers to take down, and the third and final wave is tougher than the first 2. Round 67 is also worth mentioning, as it's the first round in which you will encounter all 3 different special properties that can be applied to a balloon at the same time. Fortified Camo Regrow Ceramics. Although despite this particular round doesn't pose much of a threat with a decent defense. A bigger threat is round 76 that sends out a dense rush of regrow ceramics, or round 78 that starts the round with a rush of ceramics along with a long trail of rainbow balloons and the BFB, then ends the round with another ceramic rush, and this time they also have the camo property. At round 80 is where it starts getting really tough. Here we get introduced to yet another Moab class balloon, the ZOMG. While it travels slower than the BFB and certainly slower than the Moab, this balloon has 4000 HP for the outer layer and spawns 4 BFBs as its children, meaning an RBE of over 16,000. And this round is the final round when playing on hard mode. After this point, the ceramic balloons also change into super ceramics. They look just the same, but the HP of the outer layer goes from 10 to 60, and instead of spawning 2 rainbow balloons that spawns 2 zebras, etc., it only spawns 1. And this is to make the ceramics harder while still not increasing lag in super late game when things get crazy. This is also the point where the HP of every type of Moab class balloon will start to increase for every single round that passes. It starts by increasing by 2% of its base HP per round. So the increase would begin by looking like this. It's not an exponential function like many people think it is, but it's a linear function that will get replaced by more and more aggressive linear functions the longer we survive, making the Moab class balloons really tough and making the overall graph look almost as if it was exponential. The fastest it will ever increase is by 500% of the base HP per round. But the HP is not the only thing that starts increasing after round 80. Speed ramping also takes effect, increasing the speed by 2% of its base speed per round. In contrast to the HP ramping, the speed ramping never really accelerates. It does take bigger and bigger jumps at certain levels that causes it to sometimes deviate from the standard 2%, but that just happens 4 times. Other than that, it's 2% per round forever. Between round 80 and 90 you will face off against several ZOMGs at once, mixed with regular as well as fortified BFBs and some Moabs on top. At round 90 you will meet one of the meanest and most annoying balloons in the game, the DDT. DDTs are almost as fast as pink balloons, and they have both the lead, black balloon and camo property, meaning you can only damage it with a tower that can see camo, can damage lead and does not deal explosive damage. Its outer layer has 400 HP by default, but since the HP of all Moab class balloons, even the ones we have yet to see, has been scaling their HP since round 80, by the first time we encounter a DDT it will have 480 HP instead. As for children, it spawns 4 camo regrow super ceramics. Round 95 has a ton of these DDTs, along with hundreds of camo regrow purples and some leads and some fortified Moabs. Round 97 has 2 fortified ZOMGs, and round 98 is a really tough one that is very dense, containing 30 fortified BFBs and 8 ZOMGs. 99 has 60 Moabs and 9 fortified DDTs, so here you really need a lot of damage from towers that can deal with those DDTs. And at round 100 you meet the biggest regular Moab class balloon, the BAD. This one has 20,000 HP at base, but at round 100, where you encounter it for the first time, it is already up to 28,000 and a total RBE of 67,000. It travels super slow, but it can't be stunned or slowed any further and sponges up a ton of damage before it breaks, and once it does, it spawns 2 ZOMGs and 3 DDTs. This is where the game ends for Chimps mode and Impossible mode, and where you enter the endless rounds of free play. From now on you can expect dense rounds of everything except bad balloons, those are still only on special rounds for now. Some notable rounds are round 106, 128 and 138 for the extreme amount of DDTs and fortified DDTs, and also round 119 that contains 3 bad balloons, and finally round 140 where you encounter the first fortified bad balloon. After this point, rounds are randomized and they can now contain bad balloons, but no more fortified ones until a bit later on. There's a large number of pre-made groups of balloons with RBE values attached to them that can also be affected by factors such as if those groups have balloons with camo properties or not. Then another formula scales up over time, increasing the RBE threshold for each round and picks a number of these groups with values that add up to that threshold number. But there are still a few rounds past round 140 that are not random. For example, round 163 contains no mob class balloons at all and always has the same large number of regular balloons every time. Also, now that we are past round 150, stunning mob class balloons will become harder and harder, as here they start to become resistant. But of course your main threat later on will most likely be the bad balloons, since they are completely immune to stuns anyway. After that, the rounds go back to being random again all the way up to round 200. Here we meet 2 fortified bad balloons, now with nearly 1 million HP each just to pop the outer layer. Past this point, every randomized round can now contain the fortified version of the bads as well. The next set round is 263. It reminds a lot of 163, but the insane amount of balloons have now been replaced by Moabs and DDTs. Past this point, the rounds will once again go random. Once you reach round 500, the HP scaling has just now reached its maximum level of plus 500% of its base HP per round. The speed scaling and stun resistance has got to their max levels long ago, and the rounds are guaranteed to be very tough even on beginner maps. Once you reach round 1000, all the set balloon groups that exist that are chosen to spawn at random will spawn every round. The RBE threshold has become so large that every possible group will spawn every round. The only random thing from here on out is the order in which they spawn in. And now, unless you're using some sort of mods or glitches, you will never even come close to reaching the end of this stage of randomized balloons that ends on round 10,000, where you will be greeted by 100 fortified bad balloons. At this point, each bad balloon has enough speed to traverse the entire track so fast that you hardly have time to even react to it, and they have about 1 trillion HP just for the outer layer. The round after, at 10,001, there will be 9,999 fortified super ceramics, and at 10,002, 100 Moabs, 10,003, 100 BFBs, 10,004, 100 ZOMGs, 10,005, 100 DDTs, and then for round 10,006 all the way up to 536,927 there will be 200 fortified bad balloons each round. And then things start getting really weird. After that round and all the way up until round 1,073,798 there will be nothing. No balloons will spawn at all for over 500,000 rounds, most likely due to memory limitations within the game, and your army of monkeys will be left waiting, wondering when the next assault will come as the rounds go by one super quickly. Once you finish waiting for 500,000 rounds, the next 9 million will be alternating between 200 fortified bad balloons again or nothing. And once you have finally reached around 10,133,702, there will no longer spawn anything. you will have successfully killed every Bloon in the game and won the war once and for all. The rounds will continue passing, but the round counter now only serves as sort of a timer, keeping count of how long ago it was since you defeated the final Bloon. And this will continue for a long time. Assuming it takes just 1 frame per round at 60 frames per second, it will take over a year before you reach round 2,147,483,647, the maximum that the integer variable in the game can go to. And once you reach that final round, it will turn negative and start counting down again at the same speed. If you have the patience to wait long enough, you will eventually get down to 0 and then back to round 1 where you started. There is no end, and there is no winning. The battle cannot be won. Every time the army of Bloons is defeated, it just takes a long rest, but it always comes back just as strong as before. Bloons is not about winning. It's just about not losing.